Hello and welcome. In today's video, I will be showing all of Kratos' costumes in the first God of War game. You unlock these by completing the challenge of the gods. All costumes benefit the player in some way, like for instance the value of orbs for magic might be higher. Here you can see Kratos dressed as a chef, covered in blood, probably from killing and cooking the Minotaurs. His skin is also no longer ashy. He also has a chain around his stomach instead of the usual straps that they have, which is a nice detail. Kratos' scar on his right eye has also been removed, same as his tattoo. His eye colour too is also different. His eyes are meant to be hazel, but here they're green. This is the same for Kratos in his default form. I find this very interesting as all of his in-game models have green eyes. For some reason here in the browser, Kratos' right cheek is sucked inward. It's not like this in game however, just in the browser. Here we have Kratos' blades, which have been replaced by two large frying pans. Here in the browser, you only see one blade, and that's due to his blades being the same model. This is the costume in game now. Here we have one of my favourites, not only for the name, but also for how it looks. As you can see, Kratos is sporting his new trunks, sandals and snorkel. Again, his skin is no longer ashy, his tattoo has been removed and replaced by a new one on his right arm that I can't quite make out. To me, it looks like some sort of Hawaiian or Greek tattoo. Let's remove his snorkel. Kratos has a bit more facial hair now, as you can see. His scar is huge here. Usually his scar reaches from his cheek to just above his eyebrow, but for some reason it now reaches to the top of his head, which is interesting. Was it a mistake or was it intentional? Like something else happened to Kratos to get this scar? After all, it is just a costume. Here are his blades. Here his blades have been swapped with flippers, but with his level 2 and upward blades, they are replaced with a pair of fish, which is quite amusing. This is the costume in game. Here Kratos is smartly dressed in a black business suit. As you can see, he is dressed to kill. His skin is now ashy, however his scar is once again different. It looks deeper and stretches again to the top of his head. His scar now also has what appears to be blue staples in it, which is odd. Kratos' face texture also looks different. It looks shinier, almost like it's using textures from the menu version of Kratos, but at a lower resolution. Here his blades have been swapped with some briefcases. I wonder if he's keeping all the red orbs in there. This is the costume in game. Here we have the most amusing costume in the game. Here we have Kratos dressed in a mascot-like costume of a cow. I love the amount of detail that is on this costume, from the enormous udders to the cartoon face of the cow. This is my favourite costume of the game, for both the name and how it looks. Again, Kratos' face texture is different. Maybe the face textures of this costume and the previous one are beta textures, or perhaps they were simply created for these costumes. As I keep repeating, it is very interesting as I would love to know. A thing to note about this costume too is how unnecessarily huge the backside of this costume is. Here Kratos' blades have been replaced with 2 large milk jugs, which again is very amusing. Here is the costume in game now. Here we have our final costume. Here you can see Kratos is wearing the armour of Ares. This one is quite a simple costume, but I find it pretty cool that you get to see Kratos in the armour of Ares. I personally think Kratos looks more badass in his armour than Ares did himself. Again, like the previous two, Kratos' face texture is different. If this was a better texture for Kratos, then I am glad that they used it for the costumes instead of Kratos himself. I really dislike how it looks, especially his scar, with how huge it is and that there are staples on the scar itself. Here on Kratos' arm you can see through it. It is only like this in the browser, as it doesn't support alpha channels unfortunately. There are no custom Blades of Chaos for this costume unfortunately. It's just the standard ones you get with the default Kratos. This is the costume in game now. Well, I hope you all did enjoy seeing the costumes. I think they're all great. Perhaps tell me in the comments which one was your favourite, maybe even least favourite. That's all from me, and I'll catch you all in the next video.